Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for DOGWIFHAT. Now, before I get started, can you guys just let me know in the comments if my volume is good? I know a couple people said it was a little bit low. I bumped it up 15 decibels, so please let me know if it's good or not now. Now, out on the daily, we had a wave 1 and 2 in blue. Targets for that for the third is just under $5. Off that, we had a green 1-2 of one lesser degree. We came past the 1.786 extension, a little bit past the 1.618. I believe that is our top 2 days ago. And we're making a running flat as a WXY. So expecting slight downside here, protect this previous low, and then move up between the 2.382 and the 2.618. Price targets for that is 324 and 413. But if we get an extension, that's where we'd use our blue targets just under $5. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the 15-minute and just talk about this fourth wave correction. Now we expect it to take a similar time as this wave 2. Nothing says it has to, so I'm going to show you the scenarios where it doesn't and where it does. So I'm out at a 15-minute. We track this all the way up. If you remember, we had our wave 1, 2. This is the last wave up in the third. Third came pretty extended to the 2.618 extension of wave 1, and our fifth wave came to the 1-to-1 extension of wave 3 off, beginning of wave 1 through wave 3 off of wave 4. So pretty extended fifth wave. Have this as a top as a ending diagonal, in which case we made a flat, a 3, 3, 5 for our W wave, 3 waves up for our X, and looking for a zigzag here for our Y. And that should complete our wave 4. Now, nothing says this is the exact correction happening. Can get extended out in time. As I mentioned to you, usually we expect at least a 618 and a 1-to-1 in time of the entire 5 waves up, which could drag us out to Sunday and as late as like the 14th, 15th would be the 1-to-1 in time. So as of right now, the only way I would see this change is when we get a 3 wave. This can end up being many different things as a Y wave. We can get 5 waves down. We can turn this whole area into a triangle as a Y wave. We're not going to know until we get it. We have reached the minimum buy box area for me to be considered complete, which was right there at that tick, the 618 extension of this W wave. It is the least probable in my point of view, but it's the minimum requirement. So we're using guidelines here. Ideally, what I would see here is this turn into a zigzag, just ABC. I can get 5 waves out of this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a diagonal. So I'd like to see another 5 waves down here to be very confident on the setup. Now the issue with this current B wave is we could be in the middle of a B wave. You can see if we get an A, B, C for our B, we can get another tick up for our C, and then come down for 5 waves, right? Could just be in the middle of it, or it's topped already. We won't know. So a 1-to-1 extension, if this pivot holds, this B wave pivot holds, I targeted the A off this current B. Again, if this makes one more high and then starts coming down, you're going to have to pull this pivot because we'd have different targets. But that is at, on log scale, 137.14. So right in between the 618 and the 1-to-1 of this W wave. We can extend a little bit, come to the 1.23632 or even the 1.618. But we have no way of knowing which target it's going to hit. More importantly is if we can count a clean 5 waves down and then we get a pretty quick rejection, that's an excellent entry. If you get the first pullback when we break through resistance down on the micro, even down to the 1 minute, and stop can go at the low. This is the way I enter because I try and get as much position size as possible, and I need to know where my stop is for that. So this is what I am looking for. Now if we go down to the 5 minute, this is how in-depth I get on this. I pulled from the W wave off the X in time, and I'm looking for between 1 to 1 and 1.618 and potentially longer. Usually Y waves or C waves take us slightly bit longer than A waves. They tend to grind down slower. That's where you get like ending diagonals and whatnot. But you can see it still doesn't quite line up with my 618 in time of the larger 5 waves up, which was there on Sunday the 10th. So we might not get that far in time. We'll see. It's just a guideline, not a rule. I've seen plenty where we just hit like the 382 in time. But the important thing is that we get a complete corrective structure. People would say, well, this looks like it is trending to the upside, right? We got a wave up, we got a sideways move, and we're looking for a move to the upside. I would argue, yes, that potentially can happen. But the issue is, if you see this as an impulse, that wave 2 took quite a long time, most likely a B wave. B waves tend to take longer than wave 2s. So I would expect, okay, we'll get a spike up, then we get our 5 waves down. That's my expectation there if we move up a little bit. I'm not saying it's impossible. I've seen it happen where we grind sideways like that, but that doesn't look like a bottom to me, personally. And again, that time constraint where we'd expect Sunday, I would also not be surprised to see this come back up and attack this 1.236382 again and then come down. But I do not see a completed structure currently. In validation of that, I would take off the table at 291, but that's pretty far away. But if we pass the 1.382 at 250, it does switch probabilities that we've already started the next 5th wave to the upside in the third, the larger third. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. I'd love to see the 1-to-1 down here at 137 in a clean 5 waves, and then a nice bottoming rejection to look for a re-entry. If you're just buying this as more of a swing trade, stop just goes at the slow at 10002. But you also have to keep in mind that it can swing down in one candle and reject if we get an expanded flat. But anyways, I hope that was helpful. That's what I'm looking at for DOGWIFHAT. Either we come up for one more, then make 5 waves down, or this can still be in the middle of this X wave. We make another push up, come back, then look for the entry. You can see on all these I'm looking for entries. I just want this to complete a corrective pattern, which it has not. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and please comment about the volume if you can. And I'll see you on the next one.